Hello guys, my name is Srinivasrao. I am a Python trainer. I have 20 years of experience both in real time as well as project experience and teaching experience. So, in this session we will be discussing about functions. So, before we start functions, I will write a program. Now, we will see what are the disadvantages of that program. Okay. First my requirement is to print 6 factorial, 6 factorial, 5 factorial. I want to print 5 factorial, I want to print 4 factorial. This is my requirement. Now, I will write a Python program to find out factors of these 3 numbers. Okay. So, I will go to PyCharm and I will declare one input variable. See, first I have to find the factor of 6. So, I will declare one input, for example, n1 equals to 6. Okay. I will declare one more variable called fact equals to 1. Now, I will loop by using for loop and range function for x in range 1 comma n plus 1, means it should loop for 6 times. So, 1 is the start number, 6 plus 1 is the stop number is excluded and it will loop only for 6 times, n 1 plus 1 indentation. Okay. Fact equals to fact into x. Okay. Then I will come out of the loop and I will print fact, that is fact 1, FACT 1. So, I will declare one variable called fact 1, fact 1, fact 1, fact 1 into x, not fact 1. So, when I run this program, I will get output as what 720. See, I got the 720, yes, right, this is done. I got the output as 720. Now, next in the same program, even I want to print the factorial of 5. So, to print the factorial of 5, what I will do, again I will declare one more variable, for example, n2 equals to 5. I will declare one more variable called fact2 equals to 1 and I will loop for I will take 5 variable this time in range function, okay, 1 comma for in range function 1 comma n2 plus 1, okay, indentation operator, then fact 2 equals to fact 2 into y, done. My second requirement is done. Now, what I will print? I will print fact 2. Okay. Now, we will see what will be the output. The output is 120. See here. So, my 2 requirements are done. One is 6 factorial 720. I got the output, and also I found the factorial of 5, that is 120. This is done. Now, next the same program I want to print the factorial of 4. So, again what I will do? I will declare one more variable called n3 equals to 4. I will declare one more variable called fact 3 equals to 1 and initialize with 1. Then I will use a loop, for example, for z in range function brackets 1 comma n3 plus 1, means it should loop for 4 times, 4 plus 1, that is 5 stop number, it should loop for 4 times. Okay. Then fact 3 equals to fact 3 into z. Then my program is done, my loop is done, and I will print the output as fact 3. I will print the fact 3. Okay. Now, I will run this program. Yes, 24 I got. So, my third requirement also done. So, in the same program I printed 720 factorial of 6, I printed 120 factorial of 5 and I printed 24 factorial of 4, done, my program is done. But see this, please notice in this program we are repeating the logic again and again. See this logic, this line number 3 is logic for factorial. This logic, same logic I am repeating, at line number 9, at line number 15, the same logic I am repeating. Okay. So, we should not repeat the code, it is any program, C, C++, Java, JavaScript or Python, any code, any language, we should not repeat the same logic again and again. Okay. So, what is the solution for this? solution is what, if you do not want to repeat the logic again and again. So, what you do, there is a concept called in any programming language, there is a concept called functions. Okay. So, in this session we will be discussing about functions. What are functions? What are different types of functions? Okay. What is the return statement? What are arguments? Everything we will discuss in this session. So, we will start with what are first we understand the concept, theoretical concept, what is function. In Python, not only Python, any programming language, the function is a block of code defined with some name. We will give some name to the function. We use functions whenever we need to perform the same task multiple times without writing the same code again and again. Again I repeat, why we need functions? Whenever we need to perform the same task multiple times without writing the same code again and again. See here in this code, what I have written just now, see we repeating the code, line number 3, the same logic I repeated again at line number 9, the logic is same, the logic is same at line number 15. Okay. So, instead of writing multiple times the same task multiple times, what we will do? We will use functions. So, any programming language, there is a concept called DRY principle. DRY stands for do not repeat yourself. Okay. So, any programming language we have to follow this concept. Which concept? DRY. D stands for don't, R stands for repeat, okay, and Y stands for yourself. Do not repeat the code again and again. When you write any program, we should not repeat the same logic again and again. So, instead of writing again and again, what we will do? We will define a function and we will write only once, and that function we can use anywhere, anytimes. Okay. Right. So, Python has DRY principle like other programming languages, C++, Java. DRY stands for do not repeat yourself. Consider a scenario where we need to do some actions many times. Consider a scenario where we need to do some actions or task many times. We define that action only once using the function, and you can call this function whenever you require to do same activity. Now, what is the advantage of using functions? Functions improves efficiency and reduces errors because of the reusability code. Okay. So, what it does? It improves efficiency and it reduces errors because of the reusability of code. Once we create a function, we can call it n number of times and anytime, anywhere, anytime. The benefit of function is what? Reusability and modularity. Main thing is reusability and modularity. Now, in Python programming language, not only any programming language, there are two types of functions. One is built in, already built in the library, and I want to create a function. Okay. I want to create a function. So, we will create a function, and that function is called user defined function. Suppose for my requirement there is no function, standard function, built in function in the library. So, what I will do? I will create my own function, and that function is called user defined function. Okay. And we will see some examples of built in functions. We have done so many programs from day 1, we are doing so many functions. For example, print is a function, range is a function. So, we discussed input function, int function, conversion functions, int function, float function, okay, etc., etc. Then we have a rand function to generate random numbers. Okay. So many functions are there, etc. These are all built in library. Okay. Now, I want to create my own function. So, that own functions are called user defined functions. These are the functions created by the programmers. They are called user defined functions. Now, you should know how to create function, how to define functions. So, what we will do first? We will understand the syntax. Syntax for defining a function. Syntax for defining a function. Okay. Please here there is one keyword called def. Def is a keyword to define a function. Def, name of the function. So, in the brackets I will give the name of the function, funct1, okay, and in brackets, in round brackets we will give parameters, that are inputs parameters. What are input parameters we will discuss in detail, but here in the brackets what we will do, here we will give input parameters, right, indentation colon, and then here give some space, and here we have to write the logic block of code. Here only once you have to write the logic, this is nothing but block of code, some logic of the program, right. This is the syntax for defining. Now, I want to use this block n number of times, anywhere n number of times. So, if you want to call this this function, which function? This function, just now I given a def name of the function, and if you want to call this function, what will be here? We will call it, for example, name of the function, name of function, okay, bracket open, bracket close, and here arguments, it to pass arguments. Suppose I declare 2 input parameters, so you have to pass 2 arguments. If I declare 3 input parameters, you should pass 3 arguments. Input parameters and arguments should match. If I declare 3 parameters, we should pass 3 arguments. Okay, we will see all this example. We will see all this example. Okay, now same program, factorial. See, this program is not following drive principle. Why? Because same logic I am using at line number 3, same logic I use at line number 9, same logic I use at line number 15. So, instead of writing this program for more times, so what I will do? I will create a function. So, I will remove all these things, I will create a function. And what is the syntax? Please see the syntax. The syntax is def is a keyword. Def is a keyword to declare variable function. So, name of the function and input parameters. So, what I will do? I will create def. Def is a keyword to define a function, and I will create my function. For example, my fact fun. So, this is user defined function, and I want to find out the factor of 6 or 5 or 4 or whatever. So, only one input parameter we should declare, because I want to find the factor of a single number. So, here what will you? I will declare one variable called n. You can declare in name can be anything. So, I have given as n. Indentation. Here I should write the logic. Okay, the same logic what we written, only once we will write. Now, what will you here? I will declare one variable called fact, and I will assign one value called 1. Initially, the value fact is 1. Now, I will use loop for x in range, okay, 1 comma input parameter plus 1. If I give 6, it will be 6 plus 1. If I give 5 my input, it should be 5 plus 1. So, I will say n plus 1 indentation. Okay. So, fact equals to fact into x. Then what I will do? I will print this. I will come out of the loop, and what will I will say? I will print this FACT. Before that, yeah, that's it. Then now this is defining a function from line number 1 to line number 5. Okay, my main program not yet started, because this is from line number 1 to line number 5 is just declaration. If I want to call, okay, now main program starts from here. Main program starts from here. Okay, right. So, what I will do here? I will say I will call the function. And what is the name of the function? My fact. See here, when I press M, I got this function. This is user defined function, and in the brackets we have to pass one argument. See, in this brackets there is one input parameter. So, we have to pass one argument. So, what will you here? I will give for example 6. Then you run this. When you run this, what happens? See here, it is printing 720. Okay. See, I am not repeating logic, because I want to call this function again. So, what I will do? I will copy this function name, and I will remove this 6. I will put 5. Now, run this program. See, you got 120. I am not repeating logic. I am using the same function. I am reusing that function. Okay. That is called reusability and modularity. What I will do? I will call this function again. This time I will give 4. So, the same last time also same output, this also same, but this time is what? We are using functions, we are not repeating the logic again and again. We defined one function, and we used for n number of times. Okay. Now, we will see one more scenario, very simple examples. This time I want to add numbers. For example, I want to add 1 and 2. Second scenario, I want to add 100 and 200. Third scenario, 1000 and 2000. There are 3 scenarios, okay? 3 requirements. 1 and 2, I want to add 1 and 2, I want to add 100 and 200, I want to add 1000 and 2000. Okay. So, what will you here? I will create one function. How? By using def and I will say add 2 numbers. Now, these 2 are my inputs 1 and 2, 100 and 200, 1000 and 2000. So, here in the brackets we have to declare 2 input parameters, that is for example, x comma y, you can give anything and now we will do a logic. So, what will do here? I will declare one variable called sum equals to x plus y and I will print sum, right. Now, this line number 5 to line number 7 is just definition. If we want to call this, okay, we have to call how? By using function name. For example, the function name is add 2 numbers and see in the brackets there are 2 input parameters, we have to pass these 2 arguments. So, what I will do? I will pass 10 and 20, okay, and I will run this program, you will get 30. We will debug this program, okay, we will debug this program. Now, this time I will add 2 numbers, this time I will say 1000 comma 2000 or what will you first will give 100, 200. Now, see the output 100 plus 200 30, 300 and this time I will give what? Add 2 numbers 1000 comma 2000 and when I run this, yes. So, we got the output, but logic is only once we define and we are calling for, you can call for a number as in this program we called for 3 times. So, what is happening? How it is working? Now, we will see how it is working. See for example, I will remove this 6 and 7 and I will run this. So, what happens? Main program starts from here from line number 5. So, when you execute this line number 5, what happens? This 10 will pass to x, this 20 will pass to y. Okay. So, when you execute line number 5, it executes the number 10 will pass to x, the number 20 argument will pass to y input attribute. Now, the value of x is 10, the value of y is 20 when you execute line number 5. So, x contains 10, y contains 20, 10 plus 20 30, 30 will store in sum and it prints sum. Yes. So, again I will show you, let me remove this drawing. See here what I will do here, for example, I will print x value and print y value, x value and y value. So, when I execute line number 5, 10 will pass to x, 20 will pass to y, it print x, it print y. See here, it is printing the value of x, it is printing the value of y. So, 10 plus sum equals to x plus y and print y. You understand the flow, right? Yes, that is the flow. So, from line number 7, it jumps to line number 2, it prints x, the value of x, it prints y, the value of y, then it will calculate x plus y, 10 plus 20, 20 will store in sum, and it prints here it is sum, and it prints what? It prints 30. See 10, 20, 30, x is the value of x is 10, the value of y is 20, sum equal to x plus y, the value of sum is 30 and we are printing 30. Okay. So, what we will put one breakpoint at line number 7, okay. Then what I will do? I click on this bug icon, right. Now, click on, see I want to I want to jump into the function. See, from line number 7, I want to jump into the function. So, to jump into the function, we have one more button. Now, we should not click step over. Step over means next step, next line. But from line number 7, I want to jump into the function. So, here there is one more button called step into. So, when you click on this step into, what happens? The control goes to line number 2. Line number 2, see, when I execute this one, see x, the value of x is 10, the value of s is 20. So, here please see here in the console, first it prints x, that is 10, next it prints 20, that is y value, and next is what? Sum equal to x plus y, sum equals to 10 plus 20. Now, the value of sum is 30. See here, the value of 30 and it prints 30. Yes. This is a function, a simple function, to define a simple function. Now, next concept, we should not use print function in any function. When you create a function, when you define any function, when you create a function, we should not use print function inside the function, inside any function. Instead of using print function, we must use return statement. Return statement. There is a keyword called return. So, we should use this statement instead of using print statement. Always remember, we should not use this print in this print function inside any function. So, what we written, this is for only understanding purpose, for your understanding, but we should not use this print functions, print statements here, print functions here. Okay. So, instead of print functions, we have one keyword called return. What it does? It returns the output. Where the function is called. It returns the output where the function is called. Okay. What we will do? We will put a breakpoint at line number 5. Put a breakpoint at line number 5. Then I will click on this bug icon. Bug icon. So, now I want to jump into the function. So, to jump into the function, we have one button called step into. Okay. This is step over. So, when you click on step over, it will execute the next line, it will go to the next line, but I do not want to go to next line. From here I want to jump into the function. So, to jump into the function, we have one button here, that is step into. So, when you click on step into, from line number 5 jumps to inside the function, that is it comes to line number 2. Now, please see the value, please notice the values here, y is 20, x is 10. Okay. So, when you execute line number 5, what happened? This 10 will pass to x, this 20 will pass to y, x contains 10, y contains 20, x plus y, 10 plus y, that is 10 plus 20 will store in sum. Then I print sum. So, here we should not use print function. Instead of print function, we should use a return statement, return sum. Okay. Always just now we discussed, right. So, here we should not use print function inside any function. We must use a return statement. Returns statement returns it, what it is? It returns the output where the function is called. So, here at line number 5 the function is called. So, this return 30 will return where? Here at line number 5. Okay. Let me draw this, for example, the value of sum is what? The value of sum is 30, right, it is 30. This 30 will return where the function is called. See, let me draw this. So, when you execute, what happened? X plus y is 10 plus 20 30, return 30, return sum. So, this statement, this value, this is output where it returns where the function is called. We are calling the function in which line number? We are calling the function at line number 5. So, this value, this output will return here where the function is called. Now, this will store in one variable. Okay. We will store in one variable. Example, will come here. I will say res equals to, I will assign this function to one variable res equals to add to numbers. Then what I will do? I will print this res. Yes, and when you run this, see the output, the output is 30. We will do one more example, a simple example. We will create one function to find out the square root of any number. Okay. The program is square root number, finding the square root of an input number, finding the square root of any given number. Okay. Example, if I enter 100, this is my input, the output should be 10. If I enter 81, it should be 9, 81 should be 9. Okay. If it is 49, then if my input is 49, it shall give 7. If it is 36, I should give 6. This is my output. Okay. Now, for this we will create one function. Okay. Right. So, what I will do here? I will come here, I will create one function called def. Def is a keyword to define any function. Def function name, for example, sq, small s q r t func. This is the name of the function. Now, I want to find the function square root of any one given number. 100, it should give 10. So, here I will declare only one variable, one input, that is n. Now, indentation, I will add the logic. What? Result equals to n to the power of 0.5. N to the power of 0.5 will give the square root. Okay. Then I will come here and I will say return. We should not use print statement, we should not use print function, we should use a return statement. Return what? Res. Then my function is done. Now, what I will do? I will call the function sqrt. See here, we have to pass, there is one input parameter, we have to pass argument. So, I will say here 100 for example. Now, I will store in one variable called res. Then I will print res, then my program is done. 10.0. Okay. I want to find out 81 for example, 81. The square root of 81 is 9.0. Okay. I want to find out the factorial of square root of 36 for example, yes, 6.0. So, I always use a return function. Return, what will do? It will return the output where the function is called. So, this res will return where? This here it returns what? It returns 6.0 and this 6.0 will store in res and then I will print res. So, this is by using a return statement, a function using a return statement. So, we have discussed input parameters, arguments, we understand how to define a function, what are input parameters, how to call a function, and when you call a function, how to pass arguments, what happens when you execute this function call. All these things we discuss this. Okay. In next session we will discuss about scope and lifetime of a variable, scope and lifetime of variables. Is local scope, it is global scope, and also we will discuss different types of arguments in Python functions. And also we will discuss what is lambda function, LAMBT, what is lambda function. Okay. Right. And we have other functions, this we will discuss in next video session. If you like this video, please click on like button and share our channel. Okay. Thank you very much.